Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now I'm gonna make this quick, right? Make this quick, right? I shouldn't even have to talk about it because at the end of the day, all my last videos were saying what's going to happen in the world of boxing. When you're talking about the lightweight division with all of the lightweight players in the division from George Kambosos, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Jojo Diaz, and whoever else, Javier Fortuna. It's a lot of them, but I can predict what's going to happen because all you have to do is pay attention and understand. But before we go there, I know no one gives a damn, but you should. When we go in the world of sports, when it's history, I always try to tell you guys, even if it's a boxing video, history. We're looking at the Formula One. If you don't know, that's them cars that are racing. They're not racing around in a circle like the Indy car. You know, Formula One's mostly Europe and other parts of the world, but now we got 2 races in America at the time. I think Austin and gonna be one in Miami next year. Bottom line is, you have history. The best ever would probably be a guy named Michael Schumacher, or for those who know him a little bit better, Michael Schumacher. He had 7 titles. Right? Bad boy. Back in the day, some of my favorite drivers back in the day were driving against Schumacher, Jacques Villeneuve and Juan Pablo Montoya. They were my favorites at the time because they were like, well, we don't give a damn to Schumacher or Shoemaker. We don't give a damn. We try to pass them. We come from IndyCar series. We ain't got time for that. IndyCars, we like to pass. So I like them. But at the end of the day, Schumacher's the baddest one. He has 7 titles. Well, along comes a little brother from England, right? And in his rookie season, pushed up on Fernando Alonso, who was the best driver at the time, or one of the best, and, you know, tied him in his first year driving for McLaren Mercedes. After that, went on to have a grandiose career, and now he has 7 titles. He's going for his 8th title, but he's got a dude called Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen been driving, let's say, I don't know for exactly, but about 5 years. And I can just remember when he came at the beginning, he reminded me of Lewis Hamilton or Jacques Villeneuve and those kind of guys. We don't give a damn what kind of names are in front of us. We ain't trying to drive behind them. And if we're in front of them, we ain't letting them go past us. That's how Max Verstappen rolls, right? This weekend showed it again. They were over there in Abu Dhabi, I think it was. And he, you know, they crashed him and Lewis Hamilton because he just ain't letting them go by. Whatever. I'm going with the short version. Bottom line is, they have one more race next weekend, and they're tied. This is probably unprecedented. Tied going into the very last race. Now, having a close score going into the very last race is one thing, but being tied, because Lewis Hamilton won the race and he had the fastest lap, which tied him with your boy Max Verstappen. So it's on and popping. That's very interesting coming next Sunday. I don't know how you're going to watch it, but you tune in because it's historical. Even if you don't care about Formula One, which most of us probably don't, right? But that's history. Maybe, you know, just wanted to let y'all know. Now, over to boxing. Listen, I told y'all that if Devin Haney beats Jojo Diaz, normally we would want a fight between him and George Kambosos, who beat Teofimo Lopez, to get 3 belts. Devin Haney has the other belt. And I told you that, no. Even when George Kambosos was talking about he's going to fight Devin Haney and if he beats Teofimo Lopez, I told you he hasn't had the talk yet that you get when you're in America. Every big fighter gets that talk if he's not black. Lomachenko got that talk. Tyson Fury gets that talk. And Kambosos got that talk. Teofimo Lopez got that talk. Meaning, you ain't got to fight these brothers. We will call you better. Okay? You don't. Let us do the rest. Just don't fight this guy and we'll do the rest and we'll make it. We don't care because we control the narrative. And we'll just say that you're undisputed or we'll just say that you're better than that guy and this is how it works. That's why when you come here, I am mostly talking about Negro League fighters. My Negro League fighters from the top to the bottom. Right? And I always mention them again, just in case it's the first time you heard it. Deontay Wilder, Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, my boy Michael Hunter. Now he is in a tie fight with Forrest, and I haven't watched it yet. I heard he threw up in the in the ring, right? And so, you know, he only had a draw. But the reason I say Michael Hunter, because a lot of people are like, man, Michael Hunter, he shouldn't be one. But all of what he's done in heavyweight division, being small, and to beat all these big old guys. I'm talking about Alexander Ustinov, 300 damn pounds, 6'7". Maldonado, you know, it's a big dude. Kuzmin, Sergei Kuzmin, undefeated Russian dude. Right, the smallest dude he fought was Povetkin, and Povetkin's a world-class operator, and he beat Povetkin, got a draw with Povetkin, and he beat Martin Bakoli, you know, over there in Scotland, where Bakoli comes from by way of Nigeria. So this guy has beaten a lot of guys, right, and people don't want to fight him. Right, that's why he's not in Matchroom anymore, because you know, they wasn't gonna give him Dillian White or Joshua. So, you know, it's the same thing. Probably not. It's levels to when I say Negro League fighters. So your boy Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz is like a chairman. Now we go down to middleweight, and you got Demetrius Andrade, you got Charlo, right? And when you say, well, why Charlo? Charlo was the reason we got a franchise title. It's called the Charlo belt. Demetrius Andrade been begging for years to fight Canelo or anybody else, right? Then you go down Terrence Crawford, right? Terrence Crawford. Reason being, he ain't getting the respect he deserves. He's the baddest one out here. You got Guillermo Rigondeaux. You got Devin Haney, right? You got David Morrell coming through the back door. And Gerard Ennis. These are guys that are better than the rest of them, but we're going to be talking about the other ones. I ain't got time for it. I'm not monetized anyway, so I ain't wasting my time talking about the people that I know are not better than these guys, because everyone's making sure that they don't fight these guys. They're the very best in all of boxing, right? So keep your eye on them. Yeah, Negro League means we were just as good as them other dudes in the other league, but they won't let us participate, right? This is the way they're doing it. Why do you think we have a franchise title? And that brings me to this dude. Now, I know I was telling you about Devin Haney and Kambosos. Now Kambosos has a different tune. Seemed like he's not going to fight Devin Haney, right? Now I want to get to the president of the WBC, Mauricio Sullivan. I'm seeing him in interviews, and he's always getting irked when people start talking about Undisputed and who is Undisputed and this and that. What do you think? Now, he's the guy who made all of this confusion to protect Canelo from Charlo. Made all this confusion, come out, and I can remember he could never describe what it really was. It's a designation for a fighter who we think who has reached elite status, and it's not transferable, right? So it's not transferable, and though all these fighters are elite all of a sudden, now you could have went with Lomachenko because they was calling him elite with 2 losses already, but he had 1 when he asked. He had 1 when he asked. Then he got the second one against Teofimo Lopez. Okay, you can call him elite if you want to, if you're starting to call it an amateur career. But my point is you should have called Guillermo Rigondeaux right after Lomachenko. But anyway, Lomachenko asked for it, got it. He gave it to Lomachenko because he was elite. But then it was transferable to Teofimo Lopez, who can't be elite after 12 fights. Or whatever, how many fights he had at the time. He can't be elite, he just can be good, right? Neither is Kambosos. Kambosos has it now. Is he elite? Not really yet. You know what I'm saying? So all of that. So when he gets irked when people ask him about it, he doesn't want to explain it anymore. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah, because he's wrong. The dude is rogue. He needs to get out of boxing. People need to stop, take his significance from him. If they won't get him out of there, he needs to get out. And it needs to be from all of boxing. Needs to want him out. If you letting a person, this person is obviously doing what he can to be against black fighters. Okay? Black. I know it does. As soon as you say black, people, trip out. Black Lives Matter. Oh man, I ain't give a damn. Obamacare. How did he gonna call it Obamacare? Don't do that. It's people that would die first before they, get some medical insurance called Obamacare. Get the hell out of here. We gotta know better than that. Black Lives Matter. Hey, we're mad because our kids are being killed. Right? So you can't get with that because of the name? Yeah, that's why. Right? And so when you say that this dude is doing this against black fighters, that's what happened. Canelo had to fight a good black fighter in Jamal Charlo. So we have to come up with something. Right? Lomachenko had to fight a good black fighter in Devin Haney. When I mean had, that means they were the mandatories. So did we let these guys call you on the phone and say, hey, can we figure out a way where I don't have to fight them? Actually, what the WBC president supposedly had said is, get the hell off my phone. right? Either fight him or give up the damn belt. We're not just going to be, what the hell is this all about? Instead of, let me help you guys navigate around these guys and aid in the bed in trying to, make these guys look smaller. Try to make Devin Haney look smaller, like his belt is not important. And this is the real belt that's been there before he was there. Mauricio Solomon. His pops would not like what he's doing. I doubt it very seriously. Right? And so when these brothers are trying to get these fights, you let Canelo go fight Kovalev instead of fighting Demetrius Andrade for Undisputed. Right? And all of this stuff. So what they're doing right now, he came out and said Kambosos is undisputed. Why would you do that? You know why? And I've told you guys before, and I'm going to say it again. Because they don't want this brother Devin Haney to get the damn belt at 135. Because the shenanigans are finished. Everybody would have to come see him. All these names that we keep mentioning would have to come see him. Kambosos got the nerve to even mention Ryan Garcia's name. And I'm going to say it again. Ryan Garcia, good fighter, all of that. Right? But he's been depressed. He's been out of fighting. Ryan Garcia should be 3 fights removed from a championship fight. Meaning, 1 fight you come back and fight whoever the hell you want to. Right? That's cool. After that, you fight someone harder. And so we can make sure that once you get a hard fight, that you're going to show up. Right? We got to know that before you can just get a championship. And then you can get a championship fight. By that time, it'll be Haney, which he should have fought in the first place, and he was able to not even mention Devin Haney's name, even though he's the mandatory, and all of boxing ignores that. What do you think is going on? So I don't really have to really say much, because anybody that comes here knows this brother talks about the Negro League fighters pretty much exclusively, right? Because the rest of it is BS. If your name ain't Alexander Usyk or Beterbiev or something like that, then you are allowing this. Anybody that comes out and says anything like Canelo is the best fighter that we got, that's BS. And they're probably being paid. There's no way that no one knows all of these things. Like, we're going to categorically say that Canelo's better than Charlo. And I'll probably give you that one. But he sure as hell ain't better than no damn Demetrius Andrade. Right? And if he was, he would have proved it by now. He had the money. Demetrius, 40 million, you're going to turn down that and to be undisputed. At 160 pounds, middleweight. You ain't going to do that. Then you didn't want to fight him when he was the champion at 154. Calling you out. And out of your name, speaking of calling you out, yeah, calling you out of your name. Calling you a bitch. Right? I thought that mandatories wanted to be champions. What's up with you? All of that good stuff. So they would allow them to not fight him at 154, allow them to not fight him at 160, and he's running from 168 because, hey, David Morrell and David Benavidez is there. Them 2 Davids is popping off. And he knows damn well that Charlo and Andre to move up to 168. So, hey, didn't y'all do something WBC again? He requests again for the WBC to go fight some obscure dude at cruiserweight, because cruiserweight's been moved from 200 pounds down to 190. Right? And these are the guys that are the very best in boxing. Anybody that says that, I cut them off immediately. I don't care how they look or where they come from. It's BS. You shouldn't call a person that is navigating through people, right? We know when Canelo fights, he's an awesome fighter. So I don't understand why they won't let him just fight these guys. Because nobody's name that I mentioned categorically beats Canelo. Nobody. As much as I mentioned Demetrius Andrade, he don't categorically beats Canelo. Now, I wouldn't want him to fight him in America. I would like him to do what Devin Haney says and go to Jupiter and fight him on Jupiter with a neutral crowd, because if he's on in America, it won't be neutral. Blacks get booed in America, which means all of the work that black fighters does, no one's clapping, no one's applauding, none of their work. The only thing a black person could probably get is a ooh when he damn near knocks somebody out. You might get one of them, but other than that, somebody can just swing at you, miss you, it doesn't matter, and they're gonna be, going for that person every time. How the hell are you going for somebody else in Devin Haney's hometown? Or anybody else? When have you seen a brother? It's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm ranting again. Bottom line is this: WBC president is rogue. We need to get rid of him. If not, there will be no more fairness. Canelo Alvarez is allowed to be in a whole different sport that has nothing to do with boxing anymore. It has something to do with it because they box at the end of the day. But it's not a sport anymore. It's not fair. It's not who he fights. He gets to go anywhere. Now remember what he said Mauricio Sullivan. He said Canelo, you know, he's not bound. He can go and take on bigger challenges and these things, right? So ask yourself, Canelo was supposed to fight Jamal Charlo. Has he fought a bigger fight than Jamal Charlo? And I'm talking about all of them. Who? The closest one could be Caleb Plant. It wasn't your boy Caleb Smith. It wasn't Rory Fielding. It wasn't Yildirim, right? It wasn't Amir Khan. It was none of that. There isn't a bigger fight than Canelo than Jamal Charlo in Texas somewhere, filling up any kind of stadium. They can even build a bigger one. They get 100,000 in there, right? Not right now. We got the COVID popping, but you know what I'm saying. So he was going to do other things and other fights, more significant fights. So we didn't want him to fight Jamal Charlo in Texas, right? Which is bigger, and he hasn't fought nothing bigger than that. And then we don't want him to fight Demetrius Andrade for Undisputed and the most money he would ever make. Then what fights hey, who those two brothers fought? But all of them two brothers, they're better than anybody Canelo's ever fought. Ever. Right? So it's a done deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't pay attention to Mauricio Sullivan. So you shouldn't either. Get him up out of here. Period. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.